Hi, welcome to the Space Jump feature demo. In this demo, we're going to look at some of the new metadata features added to the data sources page. All right, so here I am on the data sources page. You can see now that all of our actions have been moved into a context menu. If I click on the context menu, we can see that we have three new actions: import metadata, export metadata, and edit metadata. Let's look at the export feature. Okay, so BaseJump has generated a CSV export file. I'm going to download that now. And let's take a peek of what that looks like. All right, so here we go. It's a simple CSV file with a few columns, one for the table name, description, whether or not to ignore the table, column name, column description, and whether or not to ignore the column. As you can see here, the ignore column should be left empty unless you want to ignore something. So we have an X here. That means that the column region ID is going to be ignored. Similarly, in the table ignore table column, we can see that we have an X here, which is indicating that the regions table will be ignored. All right, so what's left here? Table descriptions and column descriptions. All right, so that's the metadata export file. Let's look at importing. To import, we simply select this, choose our file, which is the file I just showed you, and click import. The next step is to assign the different columns to their proper values. So the table name should be that column, and that column. And it's important to note that all these other options here are optional. So you can simply import just table names and descriptions if you like, but that's the bare minimum. So let's select our column name, column description, and the ignore. All right. So before you do an import, you need to indicate that you understand that metadata provides context, just to improve the accuracy of AI results. It's not a tool meant for restricting data access. All right, let's click import. And that's it. We've imported our metadata. So that's one way that you can do a bulk edit and import of your metadata. Another way is to use our UI to simply go into each table and do it manually. And that's edit metadata. So here we can see all the tables in this database on the left side. When we've selected a table, we then have a form for modifying the metadata of the table itself, as well as the columns in that table. So for the table, it's simply a description, and you have the option to add primary keys. So this should be country ID. And then for each of the columns, we have the ability to select a foreign key. So let's say that country, this isn't a great example. Let's find another table here. All right, so employees, I know, has a foreign key for jobs. So you can see here, the foreign key table is jobs, and the column is job ID. If it was regions, we would select the region table and then find the primary key from that table for the foreign key, and so on. I'm just going to set that back. Fantastic. We also have the ability to add distinct values. So what this is distinct values that exist in this column. So this is to be used for low cardinality fields. And you'd provide those distinct values with a comma delimited list, like male, comma, female, etc. You also have the ability to ignore columns. So let's say we didn't want the AI to use the foreign key to relate an employee to the jobs table. Simply ignore this column. And then we have the ability to ignore an entire table. So we can ignore this whole table if we don't want the AI to use this table when querying results. And that's metadata in a nutshell. Thanks for watching this feature demo.